say the wedding planning has been going pretty good. We actually met when we were on the Logan Creek, floating with a bunch of our friends, just having a good time.
Well, we met at a friend's house. I went to drop off a carburetor, and we were there before Easter, and just I guess that's the first time. We had known each other before that, but never really, met or officially before then.
Well, I think when I first met him, man, these guys drink a lot, but now he's just, I guess when we kind of ran into each other again, it was just, he took my breath away. Big Red Kino in Norfolk, and he picked me up at my apartment, and we went and ate supper, and then just actually came back to my apartment to watch a movie, and it was a lot of fun. We laughed, we joked, we just did what we actually do now.
First impression was, she was a real down-to-earth girl. I knew, she was from the farm, and just real down-to-earth. And after living down here in Lincoln, someone like that was just perfect.
I knew he was the one when he didn't, when I would say, should I do my hair for this? No, you look beautiful just the way you are.
The first date we had was, I think maybe a week or two after we met, and went up to Norfolk and met her and went out to Big Red Kino. And that was our first, I guess you would say, official date, or first date together. Everybody
probably thinks he's so serious and thinking, which he is. He thinks a lot and is serious a lot, but he has a fun, loving, caring side that I think probably only I have seen before.
I think I finally knew she was the one just after spending time and realizing that everything we did worked together and never had any problems. It just kind of knew later that year that I think this is it.
He asked me to marry him. It was New Year's Eve, and we were talking about going out for supper. I was probably actually urging him, hey, let's go for supper. And he's like, yeah, let's go for supper. And I was kind of shocked. He said yes, to go for supper. And then on the way there, he asked, what's your New Year's resolution? And I was kind of like, funny question, why would you ask me that? You've never asked me that. So I was like, oh, I don't know, I haven't thought of it. The next, a few minutes later, we're talking about something else, and then he all of a sudden brings up, what's your New Year's resolution? And I said, I don't know, you just asked me that. What's yours? And he asked me again after we were talking for a few minutes what my New Year's resolution was, and I said, I don't know, why you just asked me that. And he goes, what is your New Year's resolution? And I said, oh, for crying out loud, why do you want to know so bad? And I said, do you have a New Year's resolution? Is this why you're asking me? And he goes, to make you a happy wife, to give you a happy life, and to take care of you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just was kind of like ready to tear up, like, wow, that was really sweet. Now I don't really have anything. I'm kind of dropping the ball. And then I hear this little crack behind me, and I kind of thought, oh my gosh. And I hear the rest of it, and he's like, Michelle. And I was like, what? And then about that time, he's like, will you be my wife? And I was just instant tears, instant crying, and he kind of teared up too. And of course I said yes, so.
I guess one thing that people probably don't know about Michelle is is how dedicated she is and how much, I guess, she never stops going, kind of like me. She just, never gives up on anything. Every day it's something, always busy, never stops, and I just love that about her. Well, the way I proposed was on New Year's Eve. Kept asking her about if she had any New Year's resolutions. Well, and then she was kind of finally, I think, getting a little bit annoyed of the repeated question. So I just went out and said, well, I've got my New Year's resolutions are to kind of get some stuff done, working on the house, get everything kind of done there, and make you a happy wife. And she was like, well, something has to happen first. I can't remember exactly what she said, but then she kind of turned around and I had the ring, and then that's how I proposed, and of course she said yes. So, in our time together, I think what I'm looking forward to the most is mainly just having someone to share my life with, and just a companion.
Or on Easter weekend at BJ's house, I was there hanging out with BJ and his wife Sarah, and we were just sitting there talking, and he shows up with, what was it, a carburetor?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I figured I'd bring up this part. And that's when he took my breath away, because as I told everybody when I was telling this story, that was the first time I'd actually ever seen him with clothes on, or more than just a pair of swimming trunks. Before, it was just a pair of swimming trunks. And that day I remember it specifically, it was a black shirt and jeans, and he looked good.
Yeah, I guess to everyone who's here, thanks a ton for all your support.
And for all your help. We couldn't have assembled all the centerpieces or all the different pieces to the wedding without all of you.
Like I said, thanks to everybody, especially BJ. He's been the best friend person to ask for. And if it wasn't for him, I don't even know if we'd be, here together today.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks a ton, and that's why you're here with us today, bud.
I want to thank BJ too, because he's a brother. He's pretty much a brother to me. He's taken care of me a few times, and been there for me, and yeah, he's the reason we met. So I can't thank him enough. We're happy together, and I'm glad you've been there for us as well. And I also want to thank Sarah, along with everybody else, but I want to thank Sarah. Without you, all of the troubles I've gone through, just being able to talk to you, you're so easy to talk to, you're always there for me. Thank you very much for being here, and I guess I wouldn't have met you without BJ, so it all circles back to BJ, but thank you.
And thanks, Sarah, for putting up with me on all the weekends and all of me and BJ's shenanigans we could do. So thanks for everything.